Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. As I mentioned last week, I was going to discuss male versus female serial killers, and the reason I chose to research this topic is because I'm curious what the differences are between the two genders in terms of motive. I'm also having a bit of a debate on whether serial killers, regardless of gender, choose their victims based on sexual attraction. So while I was conducting my research, I noticed there weren't as many female serial killers as compared to their male counterparts. I also noticed that men tend to kill more than women and far more violently. Another difference between the two, women tend to kill children and people in their immediate family. And many female serial killers also tend to have accomplices, whereas men tend to work alone, or kill alone, I should say. Now, of course, there are outliers to this. Some women have actually killed a lot more people than their male counterparts, and some men have killed children. Some men have had accomplices, and some women have killed their victims in horrifyingly violent ways, but the majority is what I'm going by for this. Male serial killers also tend to kill for control and sexual pleasure. Female serial killers tend to kill for comfort or gain in the terms of money, revenge, and attention. According to a psychologist, Marissa Harrison, she believes that it's because of human behavior or instinct. In terms of, for hundreds of thousands of years, men hunted while women gathered, and that could be purely instinctual. With that in mind, male serial killers hunting and stalking their victims kind of makes sense if it really is because of instinct. Whereas female serial killers tend to gather from those around them in terms of money. Robert Trivers feels it boils down to reproductive self-interest as well. Since women benefit from long-term support of a single stable partner, it might explain why female serial killers try to find a way to gain money to support themselves. However, there are outliers to this. Women who have killed children don't really do it for money. They tend to do it for attention or sympathy or glorification. And what I mean by glorification is some female serial killers, they try to save their victim that they tried to kill to gain praise or glory for saving their victim or conducting their supposed good deed. And female serial killers also do not search the streets for their victims like men. Like the male serial killers, they tend to go to the streets where women don't. Women tend to operate in a specific place, whether they're homes or a place of business like a nursing home or a hospital as a nurse or a doctor, or as a caregiver role like in a daycare or nursery, or as a nanny, or even a hospice center. Whereas for men, they benefit from seeking multiple mating opportunities, according to Robert Trivers. I don't completely agree with this idea because some male serial killers have killed because of their mothers. And by that I mean like some killed because their mothers were abusive, neglectful, or relied too heavily on them for support. Ed Gein, for example, was taking care of his sick mom, and she relied heavily on him for support, and I believe she was also abusive towards him, and he didn't want to take out his frustrations directly on her, so he chose to take it out on women around him. And that actually is for a lot of male serial killers. Not all of them, but for some of them. And it's not even just men that were affected by their mothers that contributed to them murdering so many women. Aileen, who is this female serial killer that was murdering truckers, she was impacted by her mother. Her mother had her when she was 15 and abandoned her. And because she was abandoned, she had to live with her grandparents. And Eileen's grandfather abused her viciously, and he raped her numerous times. And during one of those, she actually got pregnant. So from all that trauma that she endured growing up, she developed a really major hatred towards men, and that's why she was killing them. I think the reason why she hated her mom so much probably was because her mom gave her up and she had to go through all this trauma. And she probably figured if her mom kept her, she wouldn't have been through so much. But you never know. I mean, the grass kind of is sometimes not always greener. And men also have killed because of their sexuality. They couldn't stand being gay because of society and what they were subjugated to. I'm going to use Gacy for my example for this because I studied him in college. He had a horrible childhood. His father was very abusive, verbally and physically, so he clung to his mom, which just made the abuse much worse. Gacy's father would always call him a faggot and other horrible names while he beat the hell out of him. And one such event, Gacy was a young child and his 15-year-old female babysitter molested him, and he went to his father about it, and his dad just beat the living hell out of him because he should have liked it because he's a boy and that was a girl. Later on, he was molested by a family friend who was a man, and all this trauma and negativity surrounding being gay, I believe that contributed to him just his breakdown, I guess you could say, or him breaking, or just why he started killing. And the reason he targeted gays was because he hated that part of himself, so he was targeting the thing that he hated the most, that part of him. Another serial killer did similar. He actually hated that part of himself and he was killing gay people because of it. Others kill because, like Dahmer, I think was more of an outlier to this. I don't think he killed because he was gay. I think he killed for control. Now, I don't know. This is all pure speculation because I didn't study him. We briefly talked about every single serial killer, like major serial killer, the ones that everybody knows, the well-known ones, I should say, in college, but we didn't really delve too deeply into them because we would never have had enough time to do so. So I'm guessing on Dahmer, but I think he killed for control. Because he couldn't bear someone leaving him, that's why he kept pieces of his victims, and it may have led to cannibalism, because, well, then they can never leave because they're forever part of you. In a sense, it's kind of twisted if you think about it, but I could be wrong. I don't know. If you want me to research the well-known serial killers and talk more extensively about each one in another video, let me know in the comments and I'll look into them and think about it. Other outliers to this theory that serial killers, regardless of gender, pick their victims based on sexual attraction is actually wrong. I learned. Most male serial killers choose their victims if they are of the same gender for other reasons. For instance, some choose their male victims because of revenge, money, beliefs, or racism. One such serial killer chose his victims based on what they looked like. If they looked similar to the people that bullied him as a child, he killed them brutally. Another man killed teenage boys because teenage boys molested him when he was a child, and that's because of revenge. Another man killed his victims because of money. He believed that, they can't do anything if they're dead, and then I can wipe them clean. I can take everything from them, and they can't do anything about it because they're dead. Another guy was killing because he was racist. Another one was killing because of his religious beliefs. So, what do you think about the differences between female versus male serial killers? Why do you think there are more male serial killers than female serial killers? Do you think it has to do with the hunter-gatherer behavior or instinct? Or because of mating behaviors or instinct? Let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. Next week I'm going to discuss a horrifying trend that occurred in the 1800s to, I want to say, the 1900s, somewhere in there, called baby farming. And I actually found this by accident. I was looking up horrifying events in history that occurred for my haunted house story, and this actually came up. And I was both intrigued and horrified by what I found. So stay tuned for that. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe button for more content. If you don't want to miss the video, don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay up to date. Stay tuned, loves, and take care until next time. Thank you so much for watching.